Hello, G'day Grievers, from my sun-drenched afternoon home in the afternoon. I don't know. I've just come back from the beach. Something's been bugging me all day, and I wasn't going to go live about it, but I am because I just need to say a few things and get it off my chest because I'm off to Sydney tomorrow, and I don't want to take this baggage with me. Hey, Miss Kay. I don't know where Morgan's gone. She was there and she's gone. Hi, Green Eyes. Deb Tuttle, hello, beautiful. Do you know much about the Kiely Rodni saga on YouTube, Deb? If not, buckle up. How are you all doing? We had a beautiful day here. I've packed my bag for Sydney. We're just taking, hand luggage because we're only going up there for one night. Pouring in Brisbane. Yeah, we had a really good... Hey, there goes Sunny out to her enclosure. When I built this house, it took me 2 years before I felt confident to even drill a, nail into the wall to hang a painting or something. No issues cutting a whopping great hole in my wall for an enclosure out onto the deck for the rescue felines. But yeah, I've still got a few things to do, and batshit might be happening tonight. I still haven't heard back from Finn, so I do have a few little bits and pieces to do before I go. Leave a note for the pet sitter, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I feel like I have to go live. I've toyed all day with whether or not if it's worth even. I don't know. I'm not being I'm not pulling the pin on it, but the whole Kiely Rodni thing, it just is getting so incredulous to me. I mean, today, I don't know if you saw it, but Judy Ron, who's a former New York PD detective, had several specialists on his panel discussing the autopsy of Kiely. And it was quite interesting because when I was looking at it, just as an observer and just trying to be a bit reasonable. But they pretty much, the things I was saying, I was like, that's what I said. If you just read it as a document and take it as it is. But I thought, you beauty, because basically, and I'll show you the credentials of the people that were on his panel. But at the end of the day, they were like, yep, it was an accident and there was absolutely no signs of foul play. And people continually picking the autopsy apart or ignoring things and this is what I said the other night, that it's not a complete report. There's a lot of information that isn't provided, including the manner in which they identified her, and also the state of her decomposition, which is just being ignored still. But I was really excited. I thought, this is a moment. The chat was diabolical. I didn't get to watch it. I was listening driving. I did a lot of errands earlier. But I have sent him a super thanks because I was like, thank God. And now I'm fighting with someone in his comments about Kylie's lung size, which was also something I talked about the other night. If anyone's keen to, I don't normally encourage people to watch other videos of mine, but if you want to have a look at my analysis of the autopsy report, which was basically just reading all of it and pointing out things like the state of decomposition, which is pretty critical when you are trying to identify a body and extract vitreous fluids from eyeballs that are no longer there, things like that. But also, we talked about the lung size and actually looked up a verified medical website, not Google, and her lung size, even if she hadn't have drowned and wasn't in a state of decomp, even if the lung weights were her actual lungs, which it was explained why they were that weight in Judy Ron's live, they were still in the range, the healthy range for her age group, female, definitely on the smallest end of the scale. But this is a 45-kilo girl. She was tiny. And there were observations about other organs being smaller than usual. Her pancreas, I think, was one that was still relatively intact, but smaller than usual. So anywho, if you do want to revisit, just a person on YouTube looking at an autopsy report and being reasonable. But I was so excited today because I was like, finally, we've got experts going through it But people are now ripping it to shreds because they thought one of the experts was arrogant. There's people ripping it to shreds because sometimes conclusions had to be drawn, like missing girl, we find her car, there's a deceased body in the car, it matches her description, we've positively identified her. You know, we can put all of that information together and reach a conclusion that is based in science and facts. But they're saying, well, that's not good enough. I want 100%. But you don't always get the perfect patient or corpse. I mentioned the other night talking about the autopsy where that I knew about, where a person was identified because there was a necklace around their neck, around their skeleton, essentially. That was the only identifying feature. But that necklace was identified as belonging, it was a guy. It was quite a chunky, kind of blingy thing. But it was identified in numerous photos and so on as belonging to him. He'd been missing for X amount of months. He suffered from depression. He was found in the woods. Like, do the math. Sometimes you've got to do the math. They did clearly say that. And yet we've now got still people on YouTube, probably live right now, just going through it, going through the autopsy report, ignoring the fact that there are reports missing and ignoring the fact that it repeatedly says moderate and severe decomposition, ignoring it. It doesn't make sense. You know what? If you include those little bits and pieces, it makes shitloads of sense. And now you've got two experts in the field, incredibly experienced people, looking at it and saying it's actually very detailed. There is no signs of any kind of foul play at all, any kinds of injuries that would indicate foul play. So that's why I was excited, because I'm like, there goes your foul play theories. So if you want to go down the is Truckee corrupt road, go for it. But there are still channels live today, after that live, not understanding the autopsy. It doesn't make sense. It's got to be something sinister. Crapping on and on and on about, you know, Kiely being murdered and all kinds of shit. And you've actually had experts go, no, she drowned. It was awful. She drowned. There's people debating that 0.088 isn't drunk. 0.088, like 0.05 in Australia is the legal driving limit if you have been having a few bevies. 0.088 is like 12 drinks, even if you factor in the ethanol that's created by decomp. And the lovely Barbara on Judy Rons today said that, yes, that does happen in dead bodies, but it's a tiny amount. Like, you don't get a 0.088 reading of ethanol in a deceased decomposing body. So this 45-kilo girl that might have had up to 12 drinks, she definitely was stoned as well. Might have been really dodgy hydro. She might have been a bit drunk before she got stoned. That's a recipe for disaster for many people. But yeah, there's people going, 0.088, it's only 0.8 over the legal driving limit. Like, Australia, it's been 0.05 for a long time because people that were 0.08 were driving badly and having accidents. And Aussies love a drink. Like, 12 drinks, there's plenty of Aussies that would have that for breakfast. So, yeah, I'm fighting with someone about the lung size. Why, I don't know. Sometimes, some days, I just feel like torturing myself. But what I wanted to do, let me see if lung person's come back again. No, she's shut up, thank fuck. I think my comment, why are you ignoring the opinions of experts and believing people on YouTube who have no medical experience or forensic experience at all? All their experience at is turning on the go live button on StreamYard, really. Why are you believing them over experts? Explain that to me. It doesn't make any sense. And I really thought it would stop things, but all it's done is started more. Yeah, and they also explained with the toxicology too, which we talked about the other day as well on my live with the autopsy, about how things are only reported when they get above that threshold to be considered positive. I mean, even to her credit, Zav girl, which I partly did think, don't waste that lab's time, but the lab that did the toxicology report testing, she actually called them for clarification on some of the stuff, which, I mean, I'm all for people researching and stuff, but I also kind of felt like that's probably the last thing they've got time to do right now. But bless, they did actually explain everything to her. So at least she did some research. I don't know if it changed her wackadoo theories, but kudos to her for, giving them a call. Not kudos for giving them a call, but kudos for getting the information. I probably would have gone down the email road personally, but that's right, Miss Kay, and you're very experienced in the medical field, and even in my experience as a lawyer, and like I said the other night, just because I've had to read a lot of autopsy results in my job, it doesn't make me even close to being an expert. But the one thing I'm really good at doing is reading everything and noticing the things that are missing and seeing if they're explained, which they are. Even True Helper, who pops in here every now and then, made a comment which made me go back to the autopsy report again, because he said, he commented about the eye colour being mentioned in the report, and I wrote back to him, and my explanation and my understanding from reading autopsies is, when you look at the top of the report, they have like identifying information, and it's got things like weight, height, gender, date of birth, eye colour, hair colour. That's all information that's gleaned from things like driver's licenses, medical records, descriptions. It's similar to the information that goes on missing persons files. Like, that's information that you are given about somebody who is missing or has died potentially, and that information is provided to the coroner when it's suspected that may be the person. So they've got identifying, what's the actual word? Decedent's identifying information. So they do mention in their hazel eyes, but they also mention things like her date of birth, her age, gender, height, weight, so on. But further down, when you actually look at the coroner's report from Sheriff Moon, the eye colour is unknown. It's the body of that report about the state of her body at the time that's relevant. Like, the identifying information at the top is purely, like I said, it's identifying info. It's not what they actually saw when she was there, because she was severely decomposed, moderately decomposed, and eyeballs are one of the first things to go, especially if you've got fish and bugs and things. It's awful. It's so morbid. But yeah, so what was I going to do? Hey, also, divining rods the other night, watched them for the first time, and the lady we watched, when they crossed over, she said that Kiely was saying yes, and when it was hello boys, the rods went woo, 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 hello boys. She said that was no. But then I saw another rod diviner today. When it's hello boys, legs akimbo, it's yes. And when it's that, it's no deal. Which one's right? And I like this guy, because this guy, although there was a weird question, he asked her if she was dead before she went into the water, and she said yes, which, I don't know, she sort of, where she was found and everything, unless she kind of floated into that area. But there were sort of signs that she tried to possibly get out, like putting the window down maybe and so on. But anyway, but yeah, he was yes for legs akimbo, and when they crossed, it was no deal. So now I don't know what to think about divining rods, because that other chick was the other way around. But what I thought I might do, just to be thorough, Judy Ron, don't strike me. Remember me, I'm Tory. We met back in the Chris Watts days. We both had new channels. We had no subscribers, or very few. We were kind of like neck and neck for a while there. I remember when we both had about 400 subs each. I'm the girl that takes you, used to accompany me on beach walks. Joey Brooklyn still pops in every now and then. Haven't seen you, though, for a long time, Judy Ron, but you're busy. You've got a huge channel now. Good work. But I'm also the girl from Tassie who sat with you on a live one time when your power had gone out, and I was literally the only person watching you that night in chat, and we chatted for about an hour. So don't strike me. Back in the day, when we started out as little newbies in this crazy YouTube world, you and I were buddies. And if you still want to strike me, fair use, motherfucker. I'm no expert. Yes, we don't look for evidence. It just isn't present to fit a narration. Yeah, and this chick that was live, she might still be, who I want to play a bit of her too, was crapping on about how, well, how can they say that her face was so decomposed, but they were able to identify her? And I'm like, oh my God. Do you remember the other night I went through, there are many ways to identify people, dental records, tattoos. Now, one thing that was unusual about Kiely, and I mentioned this the other night, was that she had a metal plate in her wrist, left wrist from surgery. What was the actual name of it? Oh, you had rods done on your house. All right, we'll have to talk about divining rods soon because I'm confused now. But I'm going with yes and no because the dude who wore a really creepy mask, but he was that yes and no, which makes logical sense to me. But the lady that was sitting at a credenza, that was yes and that was no. Illogical. Hey, Mandy Hall, you've been listening. Cool. I turned down my volume on my microphone. I only realised the other day it was up full bore in StreamYard. Let me know if I'm too quiet, but it was so loud that I could actually hear myself breathing the other day when I was reading some of the chat. I wanted to see what the God troll had said, but because I thought I timed them out, but all their chat's gone. So I don't know if they actually got blocked by somebody else. What's the name of she had the surgical scar, but the orthopedic plate, which has a serial number on it. And you can type that in and it will tell you the orthopedic surgeon and you find out if it was Kiely Rodni and they go, yep. And interestingly, the experts in Duty Ron's live today mentioned that and said that was probably the best way to identify her because it's very unusual for a kid of that age to have an orthopedic plate in their wrist as well. But this chick's going, but they didn't include the report on how she was identified. But they did say her face was missing. Like the terminology they use, so it's so disrespectful. Do they ever stop and go, oh, my God, I'm talking about a 16-year-old kid here? Ever? No. Just keep analysing. Yeah, there would have been an ID number. I think they called it in Judy Ron's a serial number. Someone will now go, oh, there was a serial killer in her wrist. Like, it's just insane. And I want to keep calling people out. I don't want to pay people out unless they're just really stupid and then let's have some fun with them, But my role here is to point out how they're asking for answers and the questions they're asking, the answers are there already and they're ignoring it. Why? How? Like they're going, I'm so troubled by this and I lie awake at night worrying about this. It's like, it's all there for you. All the information you're seeking is there. All the explanations are there. Why are you losing sleep when the answers are right in front of your face? But instead of listening to a 40-minute live that explains and answers your questions, a 1 hour and 17-minute live, and you could listen to it on, speed it up a little bit. If, you've got things to do like clean your house and feed your kids and it will just go to the toilet. When do any of you do that? But rather than put it on and have a listen, as a subscriber, you're going to go into some random YouTube channel that has no medical expertise whatsoever and listen to them and be in the chat going, yeah, it's suspicious. And they're crapping on about shit that the answers are out there. But also, how irresponsible of these YouTubers to not listen to everything, to just select what works for them and their narrative. I can't understand it. I don't want to take this shit with me to Sydney. That's why we're discussing it now. So I'm going to play a little bit of not all of Judy Ron's, but I do want to play the start where he introduces the people on his panel who ultimately said nothing unusual about it. In fact, they repeatedly comment on how detailed it was. One of the guys on the panel now, like I said, people are discounting him because they thought he was arrogant or that he was like clapping the syllables and speaking to people like they were idiots. I don't blame him. They criticise him because he briefly forgot Kylie's name. I forget shit all the time. Like, you can't write off somebody's expert opinion and years of experience and the incredible number of autopsies this guy has performed because you think he's a bit cocky. I mean, just a little secret. I've dated 2 doctors and I know a shitload of doctors, and not many of them are really good with their bedside manner. Their personalities, they're so intelligent and so focused on medicine and science. They're not, like the chattiest person at a party. They're socially awkward, in fact, a lot of them. But let's just discount this guy's experience and opinions because you think he's a knob. Okay. But believe the chick who continues to ignore all the evidence and facts and go live for days on end, just being horrific about Kylie and her family and friends and accusing them of murder and all sorts of shit. Believe her. Is she any more likable? I don't think so. And at least the experts, the stuff that's coming out of their mouth is based in science and factual. Not some random theory you pulled out of your ass and have been flogging for 2 months whilst defaming Kylie and the people who loved her incessantly. Because, yeah, I did check out the cunty family again. I can't stop listening to her because she makes me so angry and she's getting worse. The only thing I agree with on her, I don't agree with her very broad, no one had Kylie's back sentence, but I do agree, and I think many of us do, that it is unfortunate that no one intervened and took the keys off Kylie that night. But again, put yourself in the shoes of self-centered teenagers who are a generation that's unlike the one I grew up with. We all had wingmen and people that looked out for us and designated drivers. But like I said the other night, my niece Lily, who's 16, her friends, they don't look out for each other. They don't make sure that everyone gets home safely. They go out together, have a great time, and they leave when they want to, do whatever the fuck they want to. Lily got left alone at a party. She was chatting to a couple of people that she knew, but all of the friends that she went to the party with had left without her, and it was an hour out of town. They bailed. They didn't even go, hey, do you want to come with us? We're leaving. So you've got to factor that in, and it's unfortunate that that's the way some kids are these days. But again, you've got to put yourself in the shoes of the kids at that party. It is unfortunate that didn't happen. It's unfortunate that there wasn't a responsible person at that party who gave a fuck about everybody else and intervened and said, no, sleep in your car, I'll give you your keys in the morning. But I'm not going to go on a rant for 3 years about how everybody let her down. Unfortunately, and as blunt as it might sound, Kylie made a really shitty decision and it cost her life. But she's responsible for that. It was her bad choice to drive that led to her death. I wish someone had taken the keys out of her hands. I wish someone had said to her, sleep in the car, give you the keys in the morning. Because the only justice for Kylie is that she was still here. We could rewind the clock and someone would take the keys out of her hand. But that didn't happen. But I'm not going to go live for weeks and months and years on end about everyone letting this kid down, because unfortunately she's also accountable for the decision she made. I mean, it was a horrible series of little things in a row that unfortunately, tragically, were pretty predictable what might happen. And sadly it did. Oh, we're back to the rods, Miss K. I was always told if they cross yes or jerk down, then yes. But if nothing present or is a no, they spring open far apart. Well, this dude was hello boys was yes. And when they crossed, it was no. But I don't know if I'm going to delve into the world of divining rods and analyze, react to them. But he was kind of an interesting rooster. Hey, Joey, popping in having a ciggy. Nice. Love your top, by the way. Oh, thank you. It's my little beachy. I've still got my bathers on. You know, it's my little beachy coverall-y thing. Thank you. Yeah, doctors are never Mr. Personality. You do get, I mean, they are cool, even if they're socially awkward. The two doctors that I dated were a lot of fun. I mean, they were fucked up units too, don't get me wrong, but they were fun. Shalom, Ian Ellis. How are you, Griever? Oh, my God. You can't just say that and not add anything else because now we're all like, what? What? All right, so let's first I'm just going to show at the start a bit of Judy Ron and his mate Ed. I'll just get fast forward a bit. I just want to play the credentials of the panel guests. Because, you know, if there's any doubt that they're experts or not, this kind of clears that concept up. Get rid of me. All right.
Another video. Hey, tonight we're going to get into it. We have two spectacular guests.
Hang on a sec, Groovers. I've got to put on my headphones. I still don't know what Miss K's gone, oh my God, about, but we'll see. I've also got let it go in my head because that's just what it's just everything really. Is Chatterhead over there? No. All right. Well, I'm going to play Judy Ron. Hopefully I'll see your OMG later. But I'm heading over to Judy Ron land. Duty Ron. Duty.
Ed, we got Barbara Butcher here. Everyone knows and loves her.
Yep.
20-something years, 24 years in the New York City Medical Examiner's Office, Chief of Staff.
Listen to these credentials, peeps. This is for anyone that stumbles in on a replay or something and they're like, what does she mean? Listen to the experts. I'm just playing their credentials. I think it's important.
Legal medical death investigator. Let me tell you something about Barbara. She knows her stuff. I said stuff. I didn't say the bad word. Barbara is here with us. Ed, how you doing today?
Doing good. It was really busy in the morning, and I got a lot of stuff to do after I get off this show. It's no rest for the weary.
I know. Hey, listen, so we have so much to talk about. We're going to introduce Barbara. I can see Dr. Young is trying
Barbara's
to make it into
fabulous,
studio.
by the way. I love Barbara.
There's so many questions circling around Kiely Rodni. So we have this 18-page final coroner's report. You and I went over this.
I like the other dude too because he made a lot of sense. Let me just fast forward to when they get. So there's the lovely Barbara. I'm going to play a tiny bit of Barbara at the end too because she answers some of the questions in chat. And I'm hoping that those answers filter out into the YouTube world and some of these other numpties shut the fuck up. Let me get to when they bring on the other dude.
Folks, today we have our special guest, Dr. Young. He's an experienced full-time pathologist. He has performed nearly 6,000 autopsies and testified in civil and criminal court more than 500 times and provided deposition testimony in more than 135 times. And since January of 2007, Dr. Young has provided consultant services in forensic pathology as a self-employed person, consulting in cases throughout the United States and other areas of the world. Prior to his self-employment, Dr. Young was the Jackson County Medical Examiner for 11 and a half years, serving as the chief death investigator for the Metropolitan Kansas City on the Missouri side of the state line. He modernized the death investigation system, obtaining for the office full accreditation by the National Association of Medical Examiners. The office remains the only nationally accredited death investigation agency in Missouri.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with that. Doc, welcome.
Did you hear all of that? And also, he worked in Kansas City, Missouri, on the Missouri side, which is where I lived when I lived in the States. But yeah, I thought this guy was really interesting. I didn't get upset when he briefly forgot Kylie's name. I mean, my memory is absolute shit, and he looks a bit older than me. Some days I call Sonny Biscuit by accident. Like, that people are writing him off because of that. They're also writing him off because he's referred to conclusions that need to be drawn, and that is not uncommon in a situation where you've got a severely decomposed body. But, I mean, you find a missing girl's car underwater with a body in it, and it pretty much fits the description of the girl that's missing who owns the car. Why is that a dodgy conclusion to make? Then she's positively identified by an orthopedic plate in her wrist that has a serial number on it and connects them to the orthopedic surgeon who put it in there and confirmed that it's hers. And what, because that bit of information's not included in the bit that was issued out to the public, that's mysterious and suspicious? It absolutely, what do these people want? Oh, that's right. They want something more horrible than what Kiely already went through to have happened to Kiely. How disgusting is that? It's like that Christina Randall girl. It still bugs me that she publicly said to 1.25 million subscribers that she was sad the official finding was accidental drowning. Hey, Scott. How fucked up is that? She was sad the autopsy, the cause of death was accidental drowning. Why would you be sad about that? The only explanation is you wanted it to be foul play because that was the narrative you were pushing. You wanted the result to be worse than something that is already horrible, terrifying. Kai would have been absolutely petrified in that car. She was inebriated. She was impaired. She was stoned. She'd had a drink, at least one drink. Well, she'd had, enough to get up to like 0.088. And yes, you can factor in a bit of ethanol from decomp. But as Barbara Butcher explains, it's a minuscule amount of ethanol from decomposition. If I drank 12 drinks, which is what somebody was saying on YouTube is roughly to get to like 0.088, I'd be fucking off my tartars. But yeah, I'm sad. I'm sad the official cause of death was accidental drowning. Are you shitting me? You're sad about it? The only reason you're sad is you've been peddling a foul play theory based on nothing but your own speculation. And I'm all for speculating if you've got facts that you're speculating with. But when you twist everything and add things and things aren't there, so the only way they can be explained is because of your way of thinking, it's really dangerous. And I'm horrified that I still can't get over that. That was one of the worst things I've seen throughout this case. For someone to publicly declare they're sad because the official cause of death was accidental drowning. She wasn't sad because Kiely drowned. She was sad because it wasn't the outcome she wanted. And the outcome she wanted was way worse than what Kiely already went through. No, Scott, they're in denial. They're now ripping this highly experienced man. What was the amount of autopsies he'd done? Hang on, let me just rewind a little bit. They're ignoring the experts, Scott. They're believing the people whose only skills appear to be going live for 12 hours straight without going to the toilet and hitting the go live button on StreamYard. That's who they're choosing to believe over these panelists. Unbelievable. Let me just get this guy's intro again.
On Crime Time with Duty Ron and Ed, we really appreciate when we have professionals like you come on.
Professionals.
To give us clear and concise information when it comes to this stuff. And, you know, there's so many cyber sleuths out there and people who really follow true crime. It's a huge genre out there. and there's over 1,400, 1,500 live folks watching now. I have
Newsflash too, everyone. All these channels that are still peddling the theories and ignoring the experts, they're not true crime channels. They're not. People who are into true crime love learning about crimes, reading books about crimes that have been committed. They love ones that are being like unraveling as it goes along, like Chris Watts, and following it and listening to all the facts, using their platforms constructively to see if they can help find missing people, like AWP, that part of AWP, finding people that have been missing for decades and so on. Brilliant. Teacher's Pet podcast in Australia leading to a guilty verdict back in August. A 40-year cold case led to a guilty verdict on a murder conviction. Brilliant. Even Check It TV, like irrespective of what you think of that dude, just going back to the scene and finding Kylie's belongings. Like people that are actually getting out there. I was thinking, who's the other channel? There was another channel I was thinking of today. But they're people that are interested in true crime. The people that are peddling bullshit theories out there on YouTube, they're not into true crime at all because they twist the facts, and you can't follow true crime if you're a fact twister. You cannot rewrite the script. Judy Ron's a good friend of Ken TV. I don't know Ken TV. Judy Ron used to go for beach walks with me. I mean, not literally, but he'd come into my lives when I was on the beach, Ian. But yeah, let's just listen to these guys' credentials again.
I have to just say again, I tip my cap
I just want to get the exact number of autopsies. It's huge. It's a huge figure.
to you, and I give you thanks and praise for coming on tonight with us. Is there anything that we missed maybe that you might want to add to, or as a self intro? I'll put you full screen. You could talk to the audience.
I don't have anything to add to what you've
for the metropolitan Kansas City on the Missouri side, more than 500 times, have provided deposition testimony in more than 135 times. And since January,
have Dr. Young on tonight.
I just want to get the
I
amount
think
of
he can back me
autopsies.
up and perhaps go deeper on some of the questions that are, that are floating out there, so to speak.
And I'm going to give you the honors, let you introduce Dr. Young, and we'll add him on as you speak.
okay, sounds good. So, folks, today we have our special guest, Dr. Young.
Exactly,
He's
Scott.
an
Yes.
experienced full-time pathologist. He has performed nearly 6,000 autopsies and testified in civil and criminal court more than 500 times.
More than 6,000 autopsies. More than 6,000. Oh, hang on. Here I am. More than 6,000. And this guy knows what he's talking about. But all these other channels today going, but I don't understand it. Something's not right. He's got all the answers. Everything you're questioning, he's got them. There's no foul play. No signs of foul play. So drop the Kiely was murdered and they're all protecting the teenagers who killed her. If you want to go down the corruption road and look into that, go for it. That's interesting shit. I'll actually tune in to any channel that was peddling the foul play theory, who've now accepted what the experts have said, that it was an accidental drowning death, the end. If you do go into the police corruption stuff, I'll listen to that for sure. I have faith that some of you might actually get excited and passionate about something and actually dig deep and find out some info. Bring it on. But as far as talking about what happened to Kiely goes, you really need to let it go. You really do. Because if you watch this live, the experts on the panel, a man who's performed over 6,000 autopsies, refers to it as a really detailed autopsy, doesn't find anything unusual in it at all. Barbara Butcher at the end is responding to comments in chat. In fact, let's forward to that. I'm not going to play all of Judy Ron's live, but I think if you are following Kiely Rodni and you don't watch this, then you're not doing your due diligence and nobody should listen to you. Because like I keep saying, the answers they're asking, the questions they're asking are answered time and time again in this live that is just over an hour long. Let's just jump ahead to Barbara.
What ocean, what bay? In this case, her car was seen going into the lake. She came out of the lake. No sense looking for diatoms. We know what they're going to be.
Okay,
They're gonna
great.
be in that lake.
All right, so that's a no. Would it have been beneficial to bring in additional forensic experts, example, anthropologists, odontologists, etc.?
Well, I'm going to assume that she was scientifically identified by probably forensic odontology. I mean, as Dr. Young pointed out, that the broken wrist on the left side,
and that's what I, as a reasonable person reading an autopsy report, said, well, it's interesting she's got a bit of metal in her wrist, because it's unusual for a kid of that age to have a severe injury like that warrants an orthopedic plate. But me, like an inexperienced person, I mean, I'm probably a bit more experienced than some people in that, being a criminal defense lawyer in the past, I had to read a lot of autopsy results. So I probably have read more than a lot of people. But there was so much information in the bit that was released to the public that you'd go, okay, well, that would be a means of identifying. Someone in chat the other day was mentioning how someone was so badly decomposed, the only thing they were able to identify him from was his pacemaker serial number. It's a pretty common way to identify people when they're moderately/severely decomposed. Things like that are easy to identify and get back to the orthopedic surgeon to confirm. So, yeah, I felt a little bit proud of myself for just reading it and going, well, that's what it could have been. Not going, it's not, that report about the identification's not attached, it's dodgy, it's suspicious. And that's what this chick that I listened to earlier who was doing my head in, she was like, really? They took 2 hours to do the autopsy and they were able to positively identify her within 2 hours? Yeah. Yeah, they are. Oh, there's no way they would have been able to remove all of the organs and send them all off for testing and type up all the reports and everything into us. No, they dictate as they go along. They've literally got a checklist. It's a bit like pilots sitting in a plane ready to take off. They've got a checklist of things. They've got to tick all the boxes. You can definitely find an orthopedic plate in a severely decomposed body in under 2 hours. Anyway, thanks, Barbara, for backing my theory.
end of her forearm, that has
my summation of reading the autopsy. This chick's amazing because every question they put to her, she's like, nah, what? Huh? Like, it's brilliant. Just every single one is baseballs out of the court, the grounds, the baseball diamond thing, whatever it's called. Okay, Miss Kay, good to see you, Groover. See you again soon. All right, we'll just keep playing with a bit more, just to see a few questions that people keep asking all the time, and Barbara just debunking it. And her facial expressions, I didn't watch this. I was listening to it while I was driving. But her facial expressions are what I was picturing listening to her. She's like...
a metal surgical plate on it. It's not that common. She did have a tattoo also, which we can use. And if her parents had her dental records, show them to the forensic odontologist. I just realized, Ron, we should go back and explain what diatoms are.
Okay.
They're little tiny molecular, they're little tiny bugs and flora and fauna, the plants, the algae, everything that grows in a water environment. You can look for them. And then you ask experts who understand lake and river and bay and ocean.
Listen to that. You ask the experts who know the difference between freshwater, ocean, bays, rivers, creeks, etc. You listen to the experts. There's an expert saying, listen to the experts. How about it, YouTubers? Do you reckon you might have a little listen to the experts? Fuck, I hope so.
Biology, marine biologists, that's what they call them.
There you go.
There you go.
Here's a super chat. Sorry I arrived late. Can advance is this sleuthing? No.
Slothing.
Slothing, yes.
I think that's what she was trying to say.
Yes, slothing. Remove evidence of minor injury. Thank you. She's talking about the skin sloughing.
Sloughing's horrible. It's the skin coming away in a nutshell.
So, I just couldn't see it. I got my glasses off right now.
Yeah.
But no.
Very minor injury, like we know that the soles of her feet sloughed off, as well as the toenails, fingernails, same thing, or hands. So very minor injury. Perhaps a scratch could be missed, but don't forget, we used, after 9/11, when all we had was some sloughed skin, we were able to get fingerprints and make positive identifications from that on those unfortunate victims.
Like, it's incredible. It's a really good live. I thoroughly recommend you all listen to it if you haven't already, because, and like I said, I listened to it. I was cheering the whole way. I came home. I had a heap of things to do. You know, when you go away, even though I'm only going for one night, but you've still got to be organized and pack and all that sort of stuff, get things sorted for Sunny. And but I was so excited because I thought this might be the thing that lets some of these YouTubers finally see the light and shut the fuck up. And then I came home and bounced around. I thought, what am I going to listen to while I do some of my errands? And I got more and more irritated, just going, holy shit. Like, on the same day, these experts have said, great autopsy result, detailed, nothing suspicious, not foul play. This is how she was identified. These are all the bits of information people are questioning. I think there was a quote by the guy in the white T-shirt. He said, the absence of evidence doesn't mean evidence of absence. No, I can't remember what it was, but it was a really good little quote that is basically saying because some information's not there doesn't mean that they don't have the evidence in the other reports and other information, and also the conclusions that you sometimes have to reach, because sometimes you're just not given a corpse that is perfectly easy to do an autopsy and everything's intact. This poor girl, she was underwater for 2 weeks. She was moderately decomposed, and many of her organs were described as severely decomposed. Did any of these fucking YouTubers just even picture what that poor coroner had to do? Like, what they were dealing with. Like, it's horrible, horrible. But they're nitpicking, and there's no emotion at all for Kiely and all the people who rescued her, conducted an autopsy report that's been described as nothing but exemplary and, in fact, very detailed as well. No thought for any of those people, but they're going, I'm sad that it was an accidental drowning and not foul play. Are you fucking kidding me? Thanks, Miss K. On missing persons, I sometimes obtain dental records while the person's still missing in case they're needed. Yes, correct. And that's where that identifying information at the top of reports too, all of that is information they're gathering. They get information from the family, medical records, dental records, driver's license details. So True Helper, when he was talking about how the eye colour is referred to in the report as hazel, that's what her eye colour was. When you go further down into the report, the body of the report, which is actually reporting on the condition of her body, the eye colour is unknown because the eyes are no longer there. And the people are going, well, why didn't they only sent the liver off to be tested. Why didn't they send off the vitreous fluid in her eyes? Her eyes are gone. This is blunt, I know, but they're gone. They're one of the first things to go. Go for a walk along the beach if you live near a beach and find a dead fish and go and have a look at it. The first thing you'll notice is where is its eyeballs. It's just the way nature is. Yeah, they can get DNA from a flake of skin. It's incredible. Technology is amazing. And I'm fascinated listening to the experts who access this technology and who know what they're talking about. But meanwhile, you've got all these creators going, there's all this stuff, it's not making any sense. The sense is there for you now. Watch it. Educate yourselves. Make yourself sound intelligent. Go, okay, I've led you all down the garden path, the wrong one. We've gone down this garden path for 2 months, slandering everyone in Kiely's life, including Kiely. And I've been building you all up for this dramatic ending. Like, you know, you want the perfect Game of Thrones ending. Fuck-a-doodle-doo. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Here, let me give you back all the money you've given me in the last, as if. But wouldn't it be great if someone did that? But no, they're sitting there and the information's out there and they're ignoring it. And there are hundreds of people rolling in going, oh my God, you're onto something. Keep going, keep fighting the fight. Justice for Kiely, they say, while ripping to shreds everyone in her life. And like I was saying the other night, these kids are now out there, like on the internet, when they go to college, when they apply for jobs, when they start dating. Anyone that types their name into Google, what's going to come up? Shitloads of YouTube videos accusing them of being murderers, ripping them to shreds, analysing if a video of them is them dancing at a school concert and that makes them 25. Like, think about what you're doing. You're ruining lives. And you're disrespecting lives, and you're disrespecting a life that was lost. I'm hungry. I need to get some dinner. And if we do batshit, it's going to be earlier rather than later. I don't have a lot left to do around. Like, I'm packed and everything. Just checking to see if Finnegan has touched base, but he hasn't. So I don't know. There may be a batshit, there may not. Batshit might be Sunday night. We might have a week off. We've done nearly a year straight every week. Wouldn't that be fun actually to have a week off? You'll all get FOMO. No, you won't get FOMO. You'll get withdrawals. I saw a creator say it looks like a tragic accident after going through the autopsy. The chat attacked her. And this is the sad thing because of the way people think. And I don't understand it. Because we've got such an intelligent, reasonable community here. I don't hang out with Fruit Loops. They've whipped them up into a frenzy and there's masses of them. And they're all thinking as a group now. And they're all waiting for yes, this is more hideous than we first thought. So they can all cheer and go, see, that YouTuber who knows how to use StreamYard was right. They were right, even though the case is closed and the family should just be left to grieve in peace and Kiely should be left to rest in peace. So, yeah, I saw that Zav girl got attacked when she was like, actually, that video, I'm thinking it was an accident. She got blasted. I'm not a fan, but I can acknowledge things that she's done that are reasonable, like going, okay, looks like an accident. She got her chat were horrified, appalled. She broke their hearts because you build these people, you build up a frenzy and they all are focused on an outcome and the graphic outcome and it doesn't happen. And then they're all just horrified, angry. It's a dangerous game to play. Like, we're responsible for what we put out on the internet. And I think that, you know, the way YouTube's going, I think this sort of sensationalistic channels eventually are just going to be removed. I really do. Because it's incredibly irresponsible behavior, but it's also thoroughly disrespectful to Kiely and anyone who knew her. Let me see if this chick is still live. Now, I don't think GD Ron will strike. Oh, shit, I just closed his thing. Hang on a sec. I did want to put his link. I think you all know GD Ron, but I'm going to... Duty Ron, sorry. Duty. Let me just get the link to his channel. But yeah, bless him. He and I started at the same time. He's got, 140,000 subs. But he's worked his friggin' ass off. Yeah, the mob mentality is scary. That human behavioralist I listened to on Web Sleuths that day talking about the whole group think tank, and you can't change the group's mind. They are their own living organism. But I still feel somewhere in there's a little Jonathan Livingston seagull who's going to go, fuck the pack. I want to fly like an eagle. And he's going to go, woo, and fly. And he'll do a few tumbles and hit the ground and he'll break a wing and he'll be like, oh, that was fucked. And then his wing will mend and he'll be like, nah, I'm going to do it again. And eventually he's going to fly out, or she, and they'll be like, oh my God, I'm in a whole new world. It's called the world of reasonable people. I'm home. And we're going to be like, come hither. We love you. Welcome. That's what's going to happen. I'm doing this for that seagull. It's a metaphor, obviously, but I'm doing that for that person who's like Jonathan Livingston seagull, who isn't happy to just be a seagull. He wants to soar like an eagle, and he fucking does. And someone is going to fly out of that group. And we're all going to be there waiting to welcome them and just shower them in all the love they deserve. Hey, Cement Shoes. All right, bit of a reaction. Then I'm going to go in a minute because I got to eat food. I'm hungry. Oh, wait, do you want me to show you Paranormal After Dark? The dude with the rods who's a yes, hello, boys, no. I'm not making fun of this guy. This guy pretty much says that it was an accident. But I just want to show you him doing the... No, actually, we'll do him another day. I don't want to get into analysing dividing rods. I just find it interesting the first 2 times I've seen it, and they're opposites. Right, let me see. Where's this chick? She might still be live. I just want to help her. I don't know anything about it. It's Lost Souls, TC, and chat. Do not know her from a bar of soap. You sent me a funny meme. I need a laugh. Let me see. You've been struck by the smooth criminal. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, I've got a couple of emails in here. Oh, no. Okay. Let me see your meme. Was this a couple of Karens? Inflation has gone so bad, it now takes 2 Karens to speak. That is funny. So make sure thank you. Speak to the manager. Thank you, Griever. I just want to check this chick. What's her channel called? LST. Lost Souls T. So let me just type that in. Lost Souls TC. Oh. Finn wanting to go live at 8:30. Too late, Groover. I'm listening, Finn. No, I'm actually live. She's still live. Oh, well. Let's just... I just want to play a little bit of her because it's just an example, right, of on the day that experts have come out and actually said nothing wrong with the autopsy. It was death by drowning. It was accidental. It was awful. They're still going. They're still going. And the people are still flocking. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Something you don't want to meet on a camping trip. Los Oz is nice, but should stop with the Kiely case now and move on. Yeah, she sounds nice. I'm just saying, though, that she's got questions and they've all been answered. And like I said, if they want to go down the corruption road, they want to delve into that a bit further and look into that, go for it. Like I said, I'll tune in and listen. I just think this has to stop. I don't want this to be in my notifications list 4 years from now. Let Kiely rest in peace. Let her family and friends grieve. Talk about a cold case that is unsolved. Talk about a missing person who needs to be found. Please. Because you've got the answers to the questions you keep going live asking. Watch the Judy Ron live, and then if you've still got questions, well, hopefully another YouTuber will interview another expert that will answer those little niggles you've got at the end. But they actually say it's not an exact science. Sometimes you do have to put all the things together and draw a conclusion that is the most likely from the information you've got. And it's very common when you've got a severely decomposing body to do that. Who else was in Kiely's car if it wasn't Kiely? There's no other missing persons reports for someone matching Kiely's description with a metal plate in her wrist that's now been positively identified as being hers. But take that out of the equation. Who else would it be? You have to sometimes use logic to fill in a gap, but they're not ignoring the science. The science is like the framework. There's just a couple of little spots you've got to go, well, if you cross all of these together, connect them all together, that little missing bit, it's pretty obvious that this is the answer. And some of these creators are going, oh, no, it's still not, because, they've made assumptions. They're not making assumptions. They are looking at the most likely explanation with all the information and all the science and the medical evidence that they've got. They're not just going, oh, shit. They're basing it on facts and evidence and science, things none of you are experts in. We all know it's a cover-up. Oh, my God. Hey, Humanimal. How are you, Groover? I know the whole town. Yeah, they could cover cold cases. They could cover missing people stories. Like, seriously. The whole town one bugs me the most. I'm not a parent, but every single mother I know, and even me with my nieces and nephews, even the lioness comes out in me. There is no fucking way I would participate in the cover-up of my child's murder. No way. No, wouldn't. No. I would spend the rest of my life making sure that person suffered every day of their life till they drew their last breath. I would go out of my way to hunt them down and let justice be served. I wouldn't kill them or anything like that. I'd want to. Actually, I probably would at this point in my life. I really wouldn't give a fuck. But what mother would do that? It's just ludicrous. Anywho, this one she's live at the moment. Where is everyone now? Why all the silence? Justice for Kiely. If this isn't justice, the only justice is that you all shut the fuck up, let her family grieve, let her rest in peace. If we could rewind the clock and take her car keys off her, we would have. It didn't happen. And unfortunately, that not happening and a series of other things in a row led to a very predictable, unfortunate, tragic death. I can't handle the fact there's channels that are being so disgusting about Kiely's family and Kiely and Kylie's friends have the nerve and the gall to put hashtag justice for Kiely in their stuff. I'm getting angry. And Finn hasn't messaged me. He said 8:30. I can't do 8:30, dude. I'm on a really early flight. And I've got shit to do. If they want a really interesting story, they should check out the disappearances in Idlewild, California. Well, see, there you go, Smith. That's what I'm saying. Like, if there's other stories that are inspired by this, go for it. Look into it. I'm all there. I'll be there. I'll be there. So I'm just going to play maybe 10 minutes of this chick and just respond based on what I've seen and heard today in the Judy Ron live, and just to point out how nonsensical this is. How nonsensical it is to just continue to go live on a day that experts have explained what you need to know. You're still crapping on. Nothing's making sense to this lady. That's what I kept hearing her say. Nothing's making sense. Everything is making sense. Everything is making sense. You're just not, you're choosing to ignore it. And you're bullshitting your subscribers doing that because they're like, yeah, you're right. Nothing makes sense. But it fucking does if you listen to experts. It makes a heap of sense. But all the subs, oh, you think you're on there. There's still people talking about how she drove the car from the back. There's still people talking about how she was strapped into the back. The thing that was hanging out of her car was a pull strap, like you pull the lid down on your trunk or your boot, as we call it in Australia. They're not long enough. I mean, you could possibly restrain a Barbie doll with it. They're like this long, you know, this long. You pull it down. All right, see what Finn says, because I might have to wrap this up because we might be doing batshit shortly. Quick, let me play a bit of this chick. Please don't strike me, fair use.
Should come up in a second.
And she is asking,
All right, so
why all the silence? I'm not silent. Where's everyone now? I'm here.
let me see. This is just
Sorry, just messaging Finn because he's needy. I told him I'm live and he's been needy. Is she waiting for someone to come up? Hang on.
her final report of the investigation, so that wouldn't be it. That's just
Actually, while I've got that screenshot, so see here, this is the start of the report, and the second box on the left, sorry, decedent's identifying info. So it's got like Harley's full name, date of birth, her age, gender, skin color, weight, height, hair, eyes, all of that sort of stuff. That's information that's gathered. It's not information that's come from doing the autopsy. The autopsy further down in the coroner's report mentions that her eyes are unknown because basically they're gone. The eye color you can't determine. But this bit at the top is like information that's provided, which is why there's often a bit of discrepancies, because it might have even been talking to Kylie's dad and going, how tall was she? And he's like, I don't know, about blah, blah. Like, unless someone's actually seen her exact weight when she stood on the scale the day before, you know, as well, like weights can be a little bit out, but it's kind of like they ask, you know, can you describe her? Oh. No, Finn, I'm live. Finn, seriously. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to just turn it down. But, yeah, these millennial boys. Oh, shit, I forgot to wish him a happy birthday yesterday too. So, yeah, that's that little bit there. But anyway, let's go back to her for a sec.
just
Easily
basic
distracted.
information on there. Hannah, how are you?
I want to get to her asking questions where she's
Yeah, I
like,
agree at what he said. Yeah, and Klinkenbeard, that's the one who signed the death certificate as well. I don't know. It's just weird.
what?
Like all of this stuff is.
Because you're not listening to
Dr. G
experts
told me
talk
a
about it.
lot, but no professional training.
You're not skilled
Oh,
to
Hannah,
read
you're
it.
talking about Dr. G that used to have the show. She was awesome. Okay. Is that who accidental found that store footage?
That shit's been postponed.
I don't know
everyone.
who it was that found the store footage. Very interesting. I want to know if that's normal. Honestly, living like
Look, I'm easily distracted, and I have been messaging Finn right now, but I think I speak, I try to speak at a pace that doesn't put you all to sleep. But this is a nice bedtime voice. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Yeah, her chat do, but the chat are encouraging it because they've been whipped into a frenzy that they want this horrible outcome. So they do want her to keep going because they want to believe that she was right and the path they led that she's led all of them down like the friggin' Pied Piper. They're going to get the pot of gold at the end, and they're starting to sense, because some of them probably are like watching a few other things, that the pot of gold ain't at the end of that path, but they're still in that frenzy and they want that outcome. It's really weird. The psychology of masses of people is cray-cray, and we're witnessing it on the tubes. Someone in LSTC chat said they don't have Kool-Aid in Australia. Yeah, we don't, do we? They're saying Sammy got Mags to bring Kiely. They're talking about Sammy's age. Saying Mags didn't want to be a part of it. Yeah, Lemmings off a cliff. Exactly. That's the perfect. I will pass on happy birthdays for you. He's silent again at the moment. Lemmings off a cliff. Off you go. Maybe we need a YouTube. Maybe we are. No, I mean, I don't want anyone to go off the edge of a cliff, because some of these people, the next thing they do could be amazing. I live in hope. Namaste. I'm just trying to get a bit that I can go, it's explained in Judy Ron's live today, repeatedly.
time, I don't think there's anything normal about this.
Nothing normal.
Because if you like, that's what I was asking, if anybody had any has ever dealt with autopsies.
Yes. Funnily enough, today, the same day that you're live, on Judy Ron's channel, a guy who's done over 6,000 autopsies has explained it to everyone and looked at it and said it was very detailed and there's nothing in it to indicate foul play at all, and there's nothing wrong with it. He refers to it as a good autopsy result. So does Barbara Butcher. If you didn't like him because you thought he was cocky, Barbara, who's a delight to behold. I mean, I liked listening to him too, because I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about. And so far, yep, anyone who's watched this and just been reasonable while they've watched it, everything they've believed and felt, yep, he's validating it. So, yeah, I don't know this lady's name, but Los Souls TC, there is someone who can explain it, and they were on a live today. Watch that and then come back with any remaining questions, maybe. Isn't it ironic? The same day. And I know that Judy Ron had heaps more people watching him, which gave me hope. But then I realised so many of them were these people that were just wanting it to be way worse than it is already.
Like, if you look at it, Josephine claims that she attended the autopsy at 8:30.
Oh, this is a bit where she's incredulous that Kiely could have been identified in under 2 hours.
All right. Then at 9:30, Klinkenbeard is claiming that the report was forwarded by Deputy Mackey. Wouldn't it take them longer than an hour to do an autopsy on someone?
What do you reckon, lady? Kiely was severely decomposed. Moderately is a word that is in the autopsy more than severely, but severely is used as well. What do you think was left? Really? It pretty much was boiling down to internal organs and not much more. Teeth, skeleton, obviously. I don't want to go down this road. It's so grim. I had a beautiful girlfriend who took her own life and wasn't found for 4 days or 5 days in her car, and horrifically was described when they found her, they had to remove her with buckets. I'm sorry if that's offended anyone. I've lived with this horror. I didn't mean to pass it on to anyone, but just to prove a point. This girl is one of the many that just needs to watch Judy Ron. The answers are there. I'm going to get upset now. I shouldn't have brought that up. I'm really sorry if I upset anyone. And rest in peace, beautiful Penny. Yeah, it just frustrates me so much. Why aren't they thinking of this? Why are they being so critical of documents that there's nothing wrong with them? They're considered detailed. There's numerous times that it's explained this isn't the full report. Numerous times. And they're just picking all of this apart, and it's about a girl who drowned in her car at 16 years of age. And all the people who pulled her out of the water and the people that were present at the autopsy and everything else, not thinking about what they went through. And they're professionals. They will soldier on and get up the next day and do it again. That's what they do. Where's the acknowledgement of their work and the stuff that they're doing? There's so many YouTubers that have flogged this story that are making more each week than the people who pulled Kiely out of the water would be. Possibly even some of these police officers and so on. Like, it blows my mind. Who's doing the dirty work, the hard work, the real work? And they're probably being paid less. And these channels have the nerve to just sit there and continue to analyze these documents they're not trained to read. And someone who's performed over 6,000 autopsies, and Barbara Butcher, who answered all the ridiculous questions, they're ignoring. No, they don't, Mandy Hall. And I guess I'm being blunt because I'm kind of over the number of people who continue. What about the water in the lungs? Like, she was decomposing. I don't want to use the word sieve, but you decompose internally and externally, and things go it's called decomposition. Is me right now. This is the composition of my body. Decomposition is when I be gone, it starts to decompose, decay, disintegrate, rot. Use whatever word you need to. But why this chick's been alive for how long? How long? Nearly 5 hours. I can't see how many people are in the chat, but probably several hundred, I would imagine. Probably over 400, 500, I don't know. Nearly 5 hours, just puzzled, and nothing's making sense. And then on the very same day, experts were on a panel saying it all makes sense. It was an accidental drowning. Move on, people.
I mean, when they do the external report and all that, and then they have to do the internal, they have to weigh all the organs. Like, it seems to me like it would take more than an hour.
When was the last time you performed an autopsy? Bueller?
Sam Brown, Sheriff Sergeant.
Don't get me wrong, this lady might be lovely, but this is bullshit what she's doing right now. Absolutely.
Oh, well. In 2016, he made $118,000. Dang. BC, how are you? That's what I was thinking, Crime Crazy. And here, like, literally an hour.
I don't like being blunt, but if you even look at the first paragraph, third line, the end of the second line, performed an autopsy on the remains. Why do people overlook what that means? The remains. There wasn't a lot left.
Okay, so that one was at 9:30. Okay, there's 8:30 where Josephine claims that she was there and took Kiely's belongings. This was at 10:17 when Sam Brown called Deputy Norden.
And so what? Like, I mean, even it's taken her 5 hours to still crap on about this. And yeah, they probably could have done 5 autopsies in the time this woman's been live because they're professionals and they know how to do their job and they move a little bit faster than you do, lady. They do. They do. That's how this is possible. But look at them, like, hanging on all this shit. It doesn't matter. Experts looked at it and went, nothing strange about this at all. The end. I think I've made my point, right? Casper, how you doing, Groover? Hi, Sunny Bum. Still nothing back from Finn. So I don't know when batshit will be, but it'll be when I get back from Sydney town. Yeah, every night, the same thing. Flocking in. And like I said, she might be the nicest lady on the planet, but there's freaking 600 and something channels a day doing this stuff. And like out of that 600 plus channels, there's about 10 of us going, what the fuck is going on here? I will soldier on. Not necessarily with the Kiely Rodni stuff. I mean, I get complacent when things become routine and familiar. I won't be doing this forever. But today I was like, today, yes. Team reasonable, a win, a run on the board. GD Ron, delivering the experts with the charming Ed Wallace by his side. Like, bring it on. This is going to end this shit. And it just hasn't. It has been every day, and it is ridiculous. But I think today of all days, when the answers to so many of these people's questions were finally given by experts, just chose to ignore it. Like, you can just picture them going, oh, fucking hell. I mean, I don't think they'd even bother listening to Judy Ron, but if they had, they'd be like, well, fuck, there goes my narrative. All right, I'm going to go live for 5 hours pulling the autopsy apart that I'm not qualified to read, certainly not qualified to perform an autopsy, and just hope that nobody in my chat mentions it. And if they do say, have you seen Judy Ron's live from today? I'm just going to read out and I'm going to ignore it. So turn the blind eye. I really thought today would be the day of reckoning. It fucking hasn't been. I'm disappointed. I'm hangry. I'm going to end this live shortly. I'm going to get some foodstuffs. Do the little note to the babysitter for Sunny. It's not a babysitter. It's a friend of mine who's popping in and feeding her tomorrow night and Sunday morning. But I'm leaving him a little letter from Sunny because Sunny likes writing letters. Oh. This just makes my brain hurt. I just wanted someone, just one person to pack up their little Kiely Rodni little junket that's kept their bills paid for the last couple of months. Just pack it all up and just bless it and thank it and just put it on the shelf and just goodbye. There you go. Thank you. And then just go live with a new story. But nay. All right. Bit more of this chickadoodly-doo. How long have I been live? An hour and 24. Well, that was unexpected. All right, we'll wrap it up at about an hour 30. If anyone's got any questions, please put them in the chat. I'll try to answer them before this live is over. I mean, I'm preaching to the converted. I have a fabulous, intelligent, reasonable community capable of some of the best one-liners you'll ever see on YouTube. Nobody new's flocking in tonight to say good day to me because they're all hanging on every word that this chick's saying. Because God forbid you miss any of it.
And then he calls Kylie's parents. So in less than 2 hours, they did an autopsy, or what they're claiming, a complete autopsy. He dictated his
What
notes.
they're claiming.
They ID'd Kiely. Her belongings were collected.
These are official reports. This isn't. They're not claiming. Like it. This is the report of what happened. You're claiming shit. They're reporting shit officially, professionally.
Collected. The message got over to whoever needed to get over to in Truckee. And then that person, which would have been Damon Norton, called Daniel and Lindsay and told them that it was Kiely. And that happened in 2 hours.
Yep.
Less than 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is from... Okay, so that one's from August the 23rd.
And notice how there's absolutely no pause or imagine what it must have been like for Kylie's parents to get those phone calls. None. Just skim over that bit. Not be affected by that. Not picture what it must feel like to receive calls like that.
First. Okay. They are fast because they had to pay off their new fancy
cement shoes. I'm jumping between the screen and chat. Please don't Beetlejuice him. So if you say his name 2 more times, he will appear, and I'm not in the mood. Oh, I know, the backseat thing. And again, I mean, they were the experts that came out long before the 6,000 plus autopsy expert today and Barbara Butcher. All the experts who've shown what happens when your car is submerged in water and how common it is to find people in the back because the nose goes down. It's like the car's standing upright on its nose. And you guys all get this. And they go to the air bubble up the top and pray that the nose of the car lands on the ground, the seabed. And they might find a way to get out. Common, it's the word that was used by the experts who know that stuff. The people that are still going on about the no fluid in the lungs clearly explained today on Judy Ron's channel. One thing that was explained repeatedly too is there's no, like it's not a given that when people drown there will be water in their lungs. And they explain in detail why several times. I think Barbara has to answer that question again at the end because there's still some fuckwit who's actually in Judy Ron's live and has already heard them explaining that it's not a given that every person who drowns will have water in their lungs, especially decomposing lungs. Like, you reckon fluid doesn't get out of something decomposing? Holy shit, people, learn what decomposing means. Learn what moderately decomposed means. But there's some dickhead who's watching Judy Ron, and at the end of it, when Barbara's answering questions, pays a super chat to ask, well, there was no fluid in the lungs, so she didn't drown. Oh, you're the expert. And the experts on the panel have already explained sometimes people don't have fluid in their lungs. And it doesn't mean it was a dry drowning either. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, watch yourself, cement shoes.
Oh, yes, I did see the picture of the new fancy morgue that they got. Crime Crazy. But, yeah, they just, like, brushed through that.
They brushed through
Stuff
it.
that they put in it probably isn't even true.
Oh, my God. Okay, so the official report that could have these people have their careers destroyed if they falsified documents. Listen to what she's saying. Like I said, this might be a really nice person, but this is insanity.
10/17, when Sam Brown called Deputy Norton, and then he calls Kylie's parents. So in less than 2 hours, they did an autopsy, or what they're claiming, a complete autopsy. He dictated his notes. They ID.
Sorry, I did rewind a bit far, but this bit still blows my mind because she's the authority on this. God, holy fuck.
Kiely. Her belongings were collected. The message got over to whoever needed to get over to in Truckee. And then that person, which would have been Damon Norton, called Daniel and Lindsay and told them that it was Kiely.
People are efficient at work.
That
And
happened in 2 hours.
yeah, because they move a
Less
little
than
bit
2 hours.
quicker than you. If they moved at your
This
speed,
is
it would take
from-
days to do an autopsy.
Okay, so that one's from August the 21st. Okay. They are fast because they had to pay off their new fancy. Oh yes, I did see the picture of the new fancy morgue that they got. Crime Crazy.
Oh, a new fancy morgue, because great things happen in morgues. And what? So they race through an autopsy because they have to pay off the morgue. Give me strength.
But yeah, they just like brushed through that. Half the stuff that they put in it probably isn't even true.
Probably isn't even true because she's the expert. This is what flips my tit. Oh shit! The Beetlejuice worked. Reese, seriously, I'm not going to entertain you and your grumpiness again. What happened to you?
Icy Gesture, how are you? How the hell is it possible to do a complete full autopsy for all major organs to be cut out, dissected, would have taken longer, not to mention external? Exactly.
Yeah, it goes on and on and on. Let's forward it a bit and see if she's moved on from this. It's just ridiculous. Bit like Reese. And I blame you, Cement Shoes. She has some, do you mean like a baked bean? Yeah, you better get some sweet dreams, Casper. You totally Beetlejuice him, you prick. You didn't even take 3 times either.
Okay. Okay, to believe the party was at the sanctuary. Hey, Vaughn, how are you?
Putting me to sleep, and I've got shit to do. So yeah, I might actually answer Reese's question. What happened to me? Before I wrap up, you listening, Reese? This is what happened to me. I've been on YouTube since 2018, and we're all consumers of YouTube. And the platform has got to a point where people are actually being incredibly irresponsible and disrespectful. And after 4 years of witnessing everything under the sun, from people calling CPS on people to people being doxxed, swatted, harassed, you name it, I'm sick of not talking about it, because at the end of the day, the only way things change is for people to speak up. And the reason people haven't spoken up over the last 4 years, for the most part, is because of those sorts of ramifications, CPS, swatting, and so on. And I can't, in good conscience, not say something now. I feel like not speaking up makes me complicit in allowing this crap to continue. That's what I'm doing. If I see a workmate who's been bullied at work, I speak up about it, because if I don't, I'm complicit in their being bullied. And I feel the same way here. My job as a lawyer is protecting workers' rights. It's an area of law that I'm experienced in, I'm passionate about, and rights are pretty serious and should be adhered to. But victims have rights as well, and a lot of them are gone and don't have voices and don't have people defending them because of the bullying and bullshit that happens on this platform. So I'm not sitting back and not saying anything anymore, because I refuse to be complicit in that shit now. And if that bothers you, I'm sorry, but that's how I live in the real world too. That's the person I am. I haven't changed. I'm just speaking up about it on YouTube now. And I wish I'd started it sooner. So thanks for asking. I also think that from little things, big things grow. And there is definitely a movement happening on YouTube now where consumers of this social media platform are getting fed up and speaking up. And I think it's fantastic, because change is possible. And the number of people that are addicted to social media platforms, this is their access to the outside world. They are also having their minds distorted because they're in these large groups that get whipped into a frenzy by these irresponsible YouTube creators. And they're begging for a more repulsive outcome of a horrible story than the reality of that story. And that disturbs me. So if just one person happened to wander in here one night, and some have, I've got new subscribers who have gone, thank fuck. There's a lot of reasonable people in comments. I'm engaging with them. I believe that there's a really good population on YouTube, and they're the people I want to hang out with. I enjoy this platform. It's fun. We sponsor wildlife with it. Someone made a comment about this, but in fact, it might have even been you, Reese, about me being monetized. Do you know what my projected earnings this month on YouTube are? It's like under $50. Like, I'm not going to get a check this month. I don't get a check most months. But when I do, I sponsor wildlife. Every cent. This is my income. I've got a job. I work my ass off in the real world. This is my downtime. I'm hanging out with my community who I love. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. What are you doing? You're just coming in and trying to make me feel like shit. I won't dislike my reflection in the mirror tonight when I brush my teeth before I go to bed. That's how I live my life. I mean, I don't really look at myself in the mirror that much. I'm not a fan of it, but I never ever want to be looking in the mirror at the end of the day and being ashamed at myself. And I was starting to feel ashamed that I wasn't speaking up. So I am. That's what I'm doing. I also do cooking, do walks on the beach. I do batshit with my buddy Finn. I do a lot of stuff here. And 99% of the time, we have a lot of fun. Some of the time, though, I take on serious issues. And this is serious. Everyone should feel free to enjoy this platform without ramifications because they are reasonable and look at the facts of a case rather than milk their subscribers for thousands of dollars a month, spinning absolute bullshit and having no respect or regard for victims. Oh, thank you, Mandy. There you go. I think my income for this month's gone over $48 or whatever it is now. Let me just say what my projected earnings are, just so I can give you an accurate figure, Reese. I'll even share the screen. Where do I go? Dashboard, monetization. Actually, might be a summary on my dashboard. Oh, yeah, and I've got new subscribers. 8. Not 800 or 8,000. 8 reasonable people have joined our community. Welcome, Grievers. It's not on my dashboard. Monetization. Overview. Somewhere in here you can see, actually, I think it's in my YouTube studio. I'm more proficient now in YouTube studio on my phone than I am on my channel because I don't, spend a lot of time. Oh, sorry. Estimated. Hang on. You're not going to see anything personal. No. All right. $51.59. Can I get that? See that? Oh, thank you, Green Eyes. $51.59, and that has been building up over the last, I think the last time I got paid, hang on. Take on a lawyer about being monetized. I'll give you the evidence. Let me see. When was the last time I got paid from Google? If I type in, where do I search? There we go. Google. Search by type, by description. Credit. Google. The last time I got paid from Google was in August. I got $118. September, October. It's the 21st today. I'm not over the $100 mark. I may go over it in November, maybe December. Yeah, you do. You have to hit 100 in that estimated revenue thing. And I don't turn ads on for much stuff. I do have them on my Molly Go Lightly thing because that's my most watched video. But yeah, for the wildlife, although we'll go into Sunny's account, but I don't mind rating that to sponsor a wildlife critter. So yeah, but thank you both, Mandy and Green Eyes. That's really sweet of you. I appreciate it. Bless you. So yeah, any other questions apart from Reese asking what's happened to me? It's a shame, Tori. What did he say? Oh, I timed him out. What a shame. What a shame. What was it? Oh, don't worry. I'll unsub and not bother you again. Ciao, Griever. Shame. I mean, I think Reese has been around for a while, but like quite a few years. I don't know. Isn't it interesting? Someone finally just goes, enough of this shit. I'm going to speak out about it. What happened to you? You've changed. Yeah, you're right. I should just go back to being terrified after I was doxxed. My full name, friends of mine, their family photos with their babies, their full names. Right when I first came to YouTube, 3 months, every day nearly, we'd wake up and a disgruntled mod who'd been demodded released all of our private mod chat. That was my introduction to YouTube, and I've been pretty wary about speaking out because of that. It was hellish. I was also burning out in my job at the time. I was starting to live with anxiety at a level that's outside your normal anxiety. We all have anxiety about things. And I had this shit going on YouTube because I happened to be in a mod chat with someone who got booted out, and she decided making videos and putting all of our personal information out there, full names, everything. Was quite all right. And then I started seeing all sorts of crazy shit happening, people being doxxed, CPS being called, people being swatted. And I was like, whoa there. I'll just participate in chats where I feel like nobody's really angry. Or maybe I'll just start doing more things on my channel and just hang out with my buddies and be happy. And that's what I've done. But see you, Reese. Let me help you out the door, motherfucker. You're getting money off a dead girl's name, paying it up. Yeah, well, maybe go and harass the people that are making 30 grand a month on a dead girl's name, ignoring the facts. You're gone. Good riddance. Thanks, Mandy Hall. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yep. See you, Reese. What a jerk. Did you listen to anything I said? No, you're still making money. What? That goes to sponsoring orphaned Australian wildlife. Not a cent goes in my pocket. My biggest level of membership is $7, $6 probably. Get a grip, dude. You've got the attitude to harass people. Go find people who need to be harassed. Yeah, Hassle Armchair Detective or the others. Exactly. Take pulled on Miss More Than Reese. Look, I don't want to, even though Reese was unpleasant, I would be the better person here. But that was pretty cunty, Reese. So, see ya. I wonder if he does go into, he probably does, but his comments get lost because there's 800 people all just salivating, wanting a more horrific outcome then and isn't it weird too? Why would you be questioning why a lawyer follows trials and missing person stories on YouTube? It's cult-like in here. Yep, all 13 of us. 14, sorry. Actually, let's make it 15. Sonny, do you want to join a cult? It's cult-like in here. I'm open to all opinions all the time, but people just coming in and being a dickhead, nah. I'm too old. I've had more Reese's wander in and out of my life than I care to remember. Yeah, I don't have the time or energy for them anymore. Such a grump. Seriously. We are the smallest cult on YouTube. We're small and irrelevant. Hear us roar. Fucking hell. Yeah, he was good at derailing chat too. Like, he doesn't have great YouTube etiquette either. But, you know, it was a pleasure, Reese, most of the time. It's time we parted. It's not you, it's me. I'll take the blame. I'm a cult leader now. I've changed. No, I do love Reese's Pieces though, but they're spelt differently. Actually, I like my favorite Reese's product are the little peanut buttered choc chips that you can put in cookies and stuff. I just eat them as chocolate. Oh, they're delicious. I'm like, oh, I might make some peanut butter cookies this weekend. And then I'm like, oh, I feel like some chocolate. Oh, I've got a bag of Reese's choc bits in my pantry. Look, this cult leader's got to go. It's nearly 2 hours of this. Thank you very much to Mandy and Green Eyes for your very lovely little donations into the Sunny Fund, but they do ultimately. And that's the other thing, Reese, by the way. For every animal our community sponsors, I sponsor one as well. I double it from my pocket. Fuck you. Technically, I'm not making any money. I'm not. It's actually costing me money, but, you know, whatever. I'm happy to spend it. Makes us all feel like we're doing something worthwhile with our channel. It's a cult of the catties. Hey, Bristol. Oh, the cult's growing. There's 15 of us now. I might hang around for the 2 hour mark just to see if any more of our cult members roll on in. The cult of Tor. The cult of the cat ears, yes. So I've just lost a sub. I gained 8 reasonable subscribers and I just lost 1 unreasonable one. Spring cleaning, it's good for the soul. Blue, boo. Shit, other people have left. We've gone down again. The cult's now. Welcome, Blue, to the boo. Welcome to the smallest cult on YouTube. Apparently we're like a cult because God forbid a lawyer takes interest in looking at trials and that's another thing, Reese. Oh my God, he's triggering me. No, he's not. But I just kept thinking of other responses. I've worked in domestic violence. It's an area that is something I'm incredibly passionate about. So is my brother, who with a couple of other people created the now called family violence. They came up with the pilot that's been adopted around Australia for how to change legislation and create more awareness. And I'm particularly passionate about male victims being given a voice. That's why I followed the Johnny Depp trial, not because I think he's hot, because I actually don't. I dated an old rocker. He reminds me of him. Young Johnny Depp, pretty cute. Current Johnny Depp, no. I was far more into it because of the fact that it was a male victim speaking up. So again, Reese, bite me. I keep thinking of responses. You know when sometimes you miss an opportunity to say something and you kick yourself forever? I feel like this is my chance to just say whatever I have to Reese. Banners. We need a banner. that's sort of sinister enough for the first one. I mean, we can work on it. Wait a minute. Why aren't you scrolling? Why didn't they give me the ticker option? I wanted it to be scrolling, but it'll have to do for now. It's not letting me be a ticker. It's just a banner. Yeah, Reese is gone. Look, I'll come straight from the beach, and I really do. I will be wrapping this up on the dot of 2. I want to go to 2 hours just to piss Reese off even more. Hey, where's my banner? Where'd it go? Oh, because it's... Right. Interesting. Here, should we play some music? Oh. A rave, but not... What are we doing? This one's called Feeding the Ducks. I'm trying to find some cult music. Yeah. Listen to me, everybody. I'm your cult leader. And when I end this live, I want you to get out there and into your kitchen and eat some food. Make some food and eat it. Get yourself an egg and beat it. Namaste. Oh, is it smoking after bed? I have got a bit of a tan, yeah. I mean, this bit here is always red because I got burnt in Fiji, but got a bit of colour. I actually got colour yesterday gardening. I've got olive skin. I go dark in the shade. Hare Krishna. Krishna. How do I turn this freaking music off? There you go. Yeah, so after this live, because you've all been focusing in on me and my preaching, I have preached a bit tonight. On the Bible, I will swear to love you. I want everyone to, when I end this live, to go to your kitchen and make a cup of tea. I dare you. In the name of cat's ears, drink tea. I can't even think of anything cool to say about the cult. I mean, that is the cult, really. We drink tea whilst wearing cat's ears. Poor Reese. I really disappointed him. The other thing, Reese, I know I disappointed you, buddy. I've disappointed plenty of people in my life, and we all do. It's just the way life is. You kind of disappointed me too, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. You'd become a bit of a, you're like the little thorn in your side, the little pebble in the shoe. You're a bit of an irritant. So, you know, I'm, like I said, it's not you, it's me. I'm far too fabulous to put up with your bullshit anymore. You're going to make a green tea, Mandy Hall. Nice. I might take a sip of water. Drink the water. Come on, everybody. Drink the water. But batshit Sunday night, Grievers. You must drink it out of a palm tree patterned crystal tumbler. Aren't these fabulous? Half the cult's left. Well, not half. We're down to 10. We're 11. Sorry, 12. Look, Reese was, just, I don't know, Reese changed. Reese is the one that's changed. I just tried to bring some different topics that I'm passionate about into my channel, like family violence and milking the tragic death of a teenage girl, giving a victim a voice. Just tried to take on some topics that had a bit of substance. I'm quite happy to go back to being a dribbling idiot doing silly shit. But now that I've been anointed a cult leader, fuck it. Reese is no longer a sub. He announced his departure. He confused my cult den. It's getting really dark outside too, and I don't have any lights on. I've just got a ring light on there up there. That's it. It's getting dark in here. Hark, is that a Reese at my door? I mean, I changed for Reese. He doesn't dig it anymore. Off you go. You didn't have to announce your departure after being a bit of a cunt, I might add. But, you know, thanks for the memories. Hi, Scout. Welcome. Look at this, Scout. Welcome. I've just been called, my channel's a cult. With a cult of the cat ears. And we're watching you. We drink green tea and water. And listen to the free music that StreamYard gives you to play in the background of your lives. Tracks like this. If you play it backwards, it says, be a rebel, drink coffee instead. Do I change my channel to the cult of the cat ears? No. I've changed my channel name so many times. People that I did meet 4 years ago, I go into their chats and they're like, they have no recollection of me because I can't even remember what my channel name was when I met them. I did that for you. Oh, I did, but as soon as I did, I'm like, Blue's gonna love the sport. All right, 1:57 and 17 seconds to go. What? Maybe we'll end with a little farewell song for Reese. Nothing nasty, just just to mark the day he let me go. Let's do that. Just don't read too much into the love a bit. Just focus more on the let her go bit. Right. Down with that. Oh, and Reese, just so you know, Griever, I'm playing the official video so that any money from this live goes into the fabulous Mike, aka Passenger's pocket, not mine, because I dig. How do I get this friggin' banner off my screen? I dig Mike, and I dig giving any potential monetization other than those little donos that went into Sonny's bank account that will sponsor wildlife. I'm more than happy for it to go into the pockets of the musos who write beautiful music to make you feel good. And I saw this dude last week. I bought the tickets in 2019 for my sister for her birthday. And we finally got to see him last Tuesday, and it was superb. So that's a Reese disturbed the peace. He had to go. He had no lease. Fly free Reese. I can see your epitaph. It's fabulous. But on that note, he did let me go. Like I said, just don't focus on the love a bit too much. Just the let her go bit. Thanks for hanging out with me, Grievers. I'll see you again when I'm back from Sydney. So Sunday night, hopefully. Put good vibes out there. My flight is not cancelled or delayed, because if it is, I'm kind of screwed. See you all again very soon.
Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. Staring at the bottom of your glass, hoping one day you'll make a dream last. But dreams come slow and they go so fast. You see it when you close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why everything you touch surely dies. But you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. Staring at the ceiling in the dark, same old empty feeling in your heart. This love comes slow and it goes so fast. Well, you see it when you fall asleep, but never to touch and never to keep, cause you loved her too much and you dive too deep. Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go. Oh, oh, oh. And you let her go. Oh, oh, oh. When you let her go. Cause you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. Cause you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let her go. And you let her go.
And on that note, I really think it's time for everyone to let Kiely Rodni's story go too. Thanks for hanging out, Grievers. I do love you heaps. And Reese, good luck, mate. I hope you find happiness out there in the big wide world. Bye, everybody. See you when I get back from Sydney.